Lobster Festival. Yeah. First of all, I'd also like to take a moment to thank Connie Russell and his great staff here at the Salmon Set for this wonderful evening. Thank you all very much. And I'd like to also thank our coronation judges this year, Don Witham, Dan McNichol, Joanne Kenny, Kim Leidenroth-Day, and Megan Brackett. Thank you all very much as well. And I'd like to give a brief shout out to Dan Bookham, who will be back this year as our Master of Ceremonies on Wednesday night. Dan Bookham, yeah. And a final thanks, big thanks to our coronation committee, which is Kelly Leidenroth, Melissa Burgess, Jill Sullivan, and of course our committee chair, the inimitable Sharon Lombardo. The 13 young women seated on the podium behind me tonight are part of the history and legacy of the Lobster Festival. And some things may have changed over our 71 years, but the coronation of the sea goddess remains one of our constant traditions. We appreciate the time, energy, and commitment that it takes to participate as a sea princess, and we hope that you've enjoyed your experience so far. Now, as far as the questions from the judges, I guess all I can give you for advice would be, first, breathe, okay? Smile. Try not to be too nervous, and just be yourselves, because you'll do great. And remember, while you're all looking so lovely up here tonight, tomorrow you'll be back on the grounds, painting the buoys or the stage or putting out garbage cans, just like the rest of us, because that's all part of the festival magic, okay? And I also want to take a moment to speak to everyone who is here tonight about the giving of your time and energy to the festival as well. Maybe you're a parent or a family member of one of our sea princesses here to cheer them on tonight. You might be a member of our community or one of our many volunteers who work behind the scenes to make this all work. I also see many of our festival board members and directors who give countless hours of their time and talents year-round to bring this event to life each year. Time is something that's very, very precious, and it's not given away lightly. And so I want to thank all of you for choosing to share your time to help make the Maine Lobster Festival the great success that it is. And I really appreciate commitment that allows us to give back to our community. Last year we sold nearly 21,000 pounds of steamed lobster and lobster meat. And did you know that all of that is locally sourced right here in Knox County? The Maine Lobster Festival is very proud to continue our mission to support the hardworking men and women who farm the sea for this harvest. We look forward to welcoming thousands of visitors from both near and far. Our festival family of over 1,300 fantastic volunteers are gearing up. It's hard work, but we love it, and as a team, we're all in this together. So on Wednesday at noon, we'll open the gates for the 71st time, and the Maine Lobster Festival will be underway. Let's make it one for the record books. And before I go, so I want you to please join me in embarrassing, well, I mean really wishing, John Jeffers a very happy birthday today. Happy birthday, John. And now I'd like to invite Kelly Leidenroth to come to the stage to make a special presentation. Kelly?
Everyone. My name is Kelly, and I would like to thank you all for joining us this night and for supporting the young ladies that sit behind me. It takes a lot of preparation for this evening's event and the other events the Sea Princesses participate in. Tonight, I wanted to recognize a lady who has gone above and beyond for more than 10 years in planning for the coronation. This year marks Sharon Lombardo's 10th year as chairman of the coronation, and her involvement goes back even farther. I have been lucky enough to know Sharon both as a Sea Princess and a committee member, and I can honestly say that she is the heart and the soul of coronation. It takes a lot of dedication, knowledge, leadership, and skill to be able to organize a program of this size. I know I can speak for the committee as a whole and say what an honor it is to work with her in planning for the coronation. Being chairman requires selflessness, dedication, and a true love for helping these young ladies grow and become independent women, which Sharon has so wonderfully done over the years. The Coronation and Lobster Festival Committee would first like to give Sharon a plaque in recognition for her 10 years as head of the coronation. We would also like to give Sharon something personal from the Coronation Committee to show her how much we've appreciated her and all she has done. Again, I would like to thank everyone for joining us this evening, and please join me in giving a big round of applause for Sharon Lombardo.
I know that she's already introduced our committee, but I'd like to introduce you to our committee as well. Melissa Ann Burgess is my 2008 Crown Princess. 2008 was my very first year from start to finish. Very special girl, and she has been with me probably since her first term ended in 2009. Okay? And she's been on my committee all these years. Kelly Leidenraw is my 2011 Crown Princess. She's been with me since 2012. And Kelly, would you come up? It's a little different like this. I'd like to introduce our new coronation chairman. Kelly's been with us since 2012. She's all through college, has a very good job, and she's got a very good job, settling down, and so she's been mentored since 2012 to take over this position, so I am so proud of her. I could burst. So welcome to our club. Now, Jill Sullivan is new to our committee, but not brand new. She's been with us for a few years, and what an addition. She's a regular little workhorse, smart. She just does it. And so Kelly has asked me to stay on the committee, so we're all going to be staying together. And I'm very excited about that. And this is our Jill right here. I would be remiss if I did not mention our sponsors because, believe me, we have a very little budget. But we do a whole lot. I hope you've been watching the Maine Positive TV videos, okay? Sean and his wife is here. They, I forgot your name, Tracy Shepherd. Sean and Tracy Shepherd. This is their first year helping Doug Mills right here. He's been with us for many years. And, excuse me, they film everything that we do. So the girls have a really, really good memory book when they're done. And so we wouldn't be able to show you everything we do without them. So I'd like to say thank you very much. Okay, these are our sponsors. Atwood Lobster. Yes, one of our sponsors by giving us a fabulous tour, which is up on the street. I've already told you all that, but goes to show how much I can talk, huh? Okay, I'd like to introduce our judges. Our first judge is Megan Brackett. Stand up. She grew up in the Mid-Coast area, is a graduate of Camden Hills Regional High School, will soon be a graduate of the Bachelor's of Finance and Accounting program at Southern New Hampshire University, and is a graduate of the Mid-Coast Leadership Academy. Megan is currently the Finance Director for the town of Rockport, and is actively involved in other civil activities. Megan has strong ties to the Lobster Festival. I can attest to that. She's my great niece. And she is a worker since she was Bobby this big. Since you were just a wee little one, right? And as a teenager, you could have found her walking around the festival grounds, lending a helping hand wherever needed. Megan is also the proud mother of a very active 3-year-old boy and the proud stepmother of an intelligent and kind 11-year-old girl. Megan and her family enjoy spending time at the lake. She admires these young ladies for participating in the coronation and wishes them all the best of luck with their future endeavors. Thank you, Madam. Kim Leidenroth Day. And yes, this is the mother of my Kelly. Okay? And she wanted to be a judge, and I says, this is your last chance. You can't be a judge. Your daughter's the coronation chairman. We better get you in now. Okay, she's from Warren, is a native of Rockland and a graduate of Rockland District High School. Prior to getting her degree at Westbrook College in Portland, Maine, as a dental hygienist, she attended and worked at the Hurricane Island Outward Bound School. During her career as a dental hygienist, she dental assisted. Am I saying that right? Okay. She went to college. Good. She did healthcare education in the elementary schools, taught CPR, first aid in her community through the American Red Cross. She also managed a dental practice and was owner and past president of the Tomhegan Wilderness Resort, Moosehead Lake, Maine. She is also a member of the Maine Dental Hygienists Association, and our Kelly is also a dental hygienist. Okay. Kim is an active member of the Warren Baptist Church, currently serving on the Board of Deacons, and is involved in the prayer shawl ministry she started at her church. Her joy is spending time with her husband, children, family, and friends. Her hobbies are working on the farm, knitting, yoga, walking, and climbing mountains. Go for it, girl. And next we have Daniel McNichol. Okay? He is a Maine native and has lived in Rockland since 1991. My wife and I have been married since 1998 and have raised two daughters. I am retired from the U.S. Coast Guard with 21 years of active duty service. I am currently employed by the Maine State Ferry Service as the port captain and have worked for the MSFS, Maine State Ferry Service, since my U.S. Coast Guard retirement in 2001. I've been active with youth sports, coaching my two daughters and dozens of other local girls in youth soccer, little league, softball, youth, and middle school basketball. I've been in the Rockland and Oceanside Middle School girls basketball coach at 7th and 8th grade for the past 9 years. I was assistant softball coach at GSB. What's that?
Great Beds.
Okay. In Dallas, for 2 years. Was a member of the Oceanside Little League Board for 10 years and am a current elected member of the Rockland Port District. He's a great coach. If you go in his office, he's got a lot of our girls on his wall that he has coached over the years. So he's been fun. Next we have Dawn Woodman of Thomaston. She's the mother of 3 children, Benjamin, Jake, and Haley. Our Haley. Okay? Her daughter Haley was crowned the 2017 Maine Sea Goddess. Dawn graduated with an associate degree in Maine Medical Center, School of Surgical Technology at the top of her class. She then attended University of Maine and studied dental hygiene. That must be the thing to do. I guess we missed that one. She enjoyed working in Portland for 17 years as a surgical assistant for oral surgeon Russell Collette. Her most memorable and for sure the sweetest time for her life was working in Boca Grande, Florida, in between her college years. That's where she met her husband, Troy, of 20 years. Troy. The other Taylor, husband of Dawn. Okay. Dawn enjoys fishing, sea glassing, kayaking, and crafting. I can attest to that. She has found her true calling as an artist with painting. Dawn's summers are spent on large green island with friends and family. Thank you, Dawn. Our next judge is Joanne Kinney, also known as Cookie. Okay. She's a native of St. George, Maine, resides in Rockland, is happily married to a lobsterman, Gary Kinney, and daughter and son-in-law who live in South Thomaston, and 4 stepchildren and their families who live in the Jonesport and Eastern Chias area. 1967 graduate of Georges Valley High School, attended Husson University and graduated from the University of Maine, Augusta, with bachelor's in business management and accounting. Currently, she is employed as office manager at Park Street Laundry and Dry Cleaning. Previously employed as purchasing manager at Marine Corps Lloyd's, FMC, now DuPont, and at Coastal Community Action Program. She's a past director of the Maine Lobster Festival and a past Sea Goddess 1968, past president of the Rockland J.C. Women's. Thank you. Now next, this information is correct in your programs, but it was brought to my attention that it was not correct in the papers that just came out, and I really feel bad about that. Because Bella Knight is our crown bearer. And this, I'm going to read it first and then I'll say something. Bella Knight, 6 years old, is the daughter of Cy and Alexandria Knight of Owl's Head. She just finished kindergarten at Guilford Butler School, where she developed a love for reading, writing, and math. This past year, she enjoyed participating in tennis, swimming, dance, and t-ball. Bella's hobbies include doing crafts, playing games, looking for sea glass, and spending time with family and friends. She has a younger sister, Summer, and an older brother, Christopher. Bella comes from a family with strong ties to the lobster industry, as her grandparents, Terry and Elizabeth Watkinson, own a busy lobster fishing wharf, Owl's Lobster Company, where her mom is also employed. What they neglected to put into the paper was that Bella's nana, Alice Knight, has been involved with the Lobster Festival since its inception and has served as the director of the festival since 1971. So Bella will continue in her family's footsteps, making her a 3rd-generation volunteer. Alice is in every sense of the word, Miss Maine Lobster Festival. Our MC is Dan Booker. If you don't know him, you've got to see him. He is a hoot, and he wants to wear his kilt as the MC. I told him he could. So this should be good. Dan Booker lives in Rockland with his wife Jessie, daughter Scout, and their 2 dogs. Dan serves as Vice President for Business Development and as a commercial lines product at Allen Insurance and Financial, where he also has the honor of serving on the board of directors. Born, raised, and education in Britain, Dan moved to Maine in 1995 and has spent the past 23 years in the Pine Tree State, the last 14 years in Rockland. He was the executive director of Penobscot Bay Regional Chamber of Commerce in January of 2009, September to 2012, and was named Maine Chamber Executive of the Year in 2011. In the community, Dan serves as chair of the Board of Trustees, the Lifelight of Maine Foundation. He also serves on the board of the Maine Development Foundation, Camden Classic Cup Regatta, on the Youth Links Advisory Group, and as a member of Americans Edge, a nationwide organization advocating for investment in early childhood development and education. That's our people. Now, these are the rules. Our 2017 Sea Goddess, Haley Dawn Whitman, is our timekeeper. The judges will rotate and have 3 minutes to question each princess. If the timer rings before the judge has finished asking the question, the princess does not need to answer, but can if she wishes. If the timer rings while she's answering, she needs to finish the answer. You ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay. Our first sea princess is Erin Nicole Duke of Thomaston. She is a 2018 graduate of Oceanside High School, the daughter of Michelle Gamache. Her activities include student government, Key Club, yearbook committee, school newspaper, school safety committee, civil rights team, member of the National Honor Society, life skills aide, 3 varsity sports player, and the theater program. There's a whole bunch to learn about. Her hobbies include hanging out with friends, play field hockey, be active, and serve in my community, and go hunting for sea glass. This sea glass is something else. I think I'm going to have to try that. She is employed at the First Bank. She is employed at the First National Bank. Okay, have to correct that. Future plans are to attend the University of Southern Maine to major in business management. Erin's sponsors are Midnight Auto, Justice Seafood, both of Rockland, Glen Cove Dental of Rockport, and Brooks Trap Mill of Thomaston. Please welcome Erin Nicole Cooper.
Hello.
Erin, does it feel better to go first tonight or last week?
I think best for last, but I don't also mind going first. Best for first is good too. So I guess it doesn't matter.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
I know that we met you when you were little, and you said that you volunteered at the Lobster Festival, and I would like you to share a memory of you and one of your best memories of volunteering at the Lobster Festival.
Okay. I started when I was 5 in the information booth, and I was actually one of the top sellers one year. And I helped my mom with the bus tours. I forgot to mention that on the one-on-one. I have helped Mike McGuire so much in the food tent, along with Key Club activities, cleaning up the tables. I think my favorite event, or memory I should say, was, that's hard. favorite would be the very first year I was in the Lobster Cafe, because I learned how to make a really good lobster roll.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
How many pounds of lobster flow through Atwoods in a year?
Around 10 million pounds of lobster.
How are you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. There was a poster that each of you signed at the Knox Center. Can you tell me who the artist is of the 71st Festival poster?
I'm sorry, I cannot answer that.
Hello, Aaron.
Hi.
We was talking about measuring speed at the Coast Guard station. How do they measure on water?
They measure them in nautical miles.
As president of the Key Club, you were involved in a lot of different activities and things. How do you think that will help you if you were a Sikh artist in representing our area?
Well, being president of Key Club is a really big role to fill. As being the president of Key Club, I've had the opportunity to meet many people in this very awesome community, working on hands-on activities, such as the window inserts or Meals on Wheels. I really get to see how hard people work in this community, how driven they are, and how supportive they are for one another. And I think that's really going to help me being Sikh artist, so I can work hand on hand even more with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How many eggs does a female lobster produce?
They have around 10,000 on their belly, and only 10 survive.
If you could change something about our local community, what would you change?
I would actually make housing more affordable for younger generations like myself starting out. I know that that's kind of tough, and first owning your own house is always something special.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thank you.
Our next sea princess is Julianne Davis Oakes of Vinyl Haven. She's a 2018 graduate of Vinyl Haven High School as valedictorian. She also attended the University of Maine at Augusta and Husson University. The daughter of Wanda Davis Oakes and Kobe Oakes. Her activities include varsity soccer, basketball, and softball as captain, student leadership team, math team, prom committee, and the National Honor Society. Julianne has traveled to many countries by being the recipient of travel scholarships and is a twice nominee for the Mid-Coast Hall of Fame. Her hobbies include working with several youth in her community with tutoring, and she helped coach the Little League softball team this year. She also enjoys running, sewing, ice skating, working on her figure skating skills, and is an artist. She is employed as sternman on the FB and waitress at Salt. Future plans are to attend Batesburg Economic and Pre-Med, play basketball and travel abroad. She would like to own a gym or be a surgeon. Julianne's sponsors are Calm Seas Therapeutic Massage. I could use one of those. And Caleb Dyer, FB Determination, the FB Headache, FB 6 Gram, FB XXX, all of Vinyl Haven, Penobscot Island Air of South Thomaston, Arts Marine Service Incorporated of Owl's Head, and O'Hara Corporation of Rockland. Please welcome Julianne Davis.
Hello.
Julianne, if you were chosen as this year's Sea Goddess and had to recruit for next year's princesses, what would you say to inspire them to participate?
I would say put yourselves out there, be outgoing, be social, and be confident in yourself. Because even though, like right now, all of us are going to be nervous to speak, but if you come up with confidence in yourself and confidence of everyone else, then it'll just help you to enjoy your surroundings and everything that this pageant has to offer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Jillian.
Hey.
Tell us what has been one of the happiest experiences in your life?
The happiest experience of my life, I have two that I can't choose from, was the first gold ball brought home to Vinyl Haven High School. It was the state game of March 4th, 2017, and all of our nerves were racked. We had a lot of pressure on us. A lot of the starters were juniors, and it was basically just my class. We grew up together, we played sports together, we were just a really unique, athletic, individual class. And so growing up together in a small community, you really get to know everyone's personality and what they can handle. And yeah, that would be one of my greatest memories. The next would be going to Europe. I traveled within the course of 3 weeks through a program called Bold Earth. I traveled to England, Switzerland, France, Italy, and Spain. And I just got to see all these monuments that I learned about in textbooks. I got to physically see them, and it was just a huge eye-opener to learn about them and be immersed in the environment and culture.
You've grown up in a lobstering family and a lobstering tradition on Vinyl Haven. When we toured Atwoods, what did you learn there that would have been different that you were not aware of in that industry?
Being a stern person, I knew about the mechanics of the boat and the process and the repetition of hauling the strings and measuring the lobsters, baiting the traps, swinging them back and setting them back. And I've just always gone through that routine and known it ever since I was 6 years old going for the first time. But at Atwoods, I was able to see the selling process. I was able to see them all in crates in 38-degree water tanks, and all of the just crates stacked up going into trucks, and just how they were boxed up in these different boxes separated with their tails down. And yeah, I love seeing how the process worked and the more like what happened after us lobstermen put them into 90-pound crates.
Thank you.
Our next sea princess is Kaden Olivia Frederick is a 2017 graduate of Oceanside High School and attends Hudson University. She is the daughter of Tori and Matthew Whitman. I don't know that. It's my grandson, Fox Whitman, of Thomaston, and Keith and Sabrina Frederick of Naperville, Illinois. Kaden was a member of the Truckers from the 7th grade. Their hobbies are truckers, skiing, studying, and traveling. Kaden is employed at the YMCA summer program. Future plans are to attend the University of Maine, Orono for nursing and eventually become a nurse practitioner. Kaden's sponsor is Shepherd Motors. Please welcome Kaden Olivia Frederick.
Hi, Kaden. Could you tell me a little bit about Truckers and what it means?
Yeah, so ever since 7th grade, I joined Truckers. I was first a student there, and for me, it helped me come out of my shell more. I was very shy. I mean, I still am, but it helped me learn more about like different cultures and the way people live. And then I had the opportunity to become a leader in 11th grade and help give back what they gave to me, which was a great experience to be able to do that.
Hi, Kaden. Can you please name the 3 Wyeths that are on display at the Farnsworth?
Andrew Wyeth, N.C. Wyeth, and Jamie Wyeth.
Thank you.
Can you explain to me what an escape vent is on a track?
An escape vent is so that the lobsters cannot get out when they come in to the trap.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
What's your favorite day?
July 27th.
Good answer. Very good. Okay, besides that, what's one of your favorite memories of growing up in the Mid-Coast, Maine?
I love going to the beach and like the breakwater, spending the day with family, watching, looking for sea glass, looking out at the ocean and the waves.
Whether or not you win tonight, what would you say is the greatest learning you've had from this whole experience with all of your friends?
I think it was just learning more about my community and where I'm from, like the town I've lived in. I didn't know a lot of stuff that I've learned, and it's just been a great experience to get to know that.
Kaden, how many pounds of lobster did they have last year at the Lobster Festival?
12,000 pounds of lobster.
What is a chicken lobster?
A chicken lobster is a 1 pound lobster.
The Maine State Ferry services islands in the area. Can you list those islands?
The Maine State Ferry Service goes to Matinicus, North Haven, and Vinyl Haven, and Islesboro.
Thank you.
Do you remember going down to the Coast Guard station?
Yes.
What does the Abbey Burgess do?
The Abbey Burgess is an ice cutter, so it can cut through the ice, or it can go on top and break it, so that if they like go through, they need to get to somewhere in the winter. It's one of their units.
What year was the first Lobster Festival?
1947.
Kaden, what do you think the biggest challenges that teens are facing today?
I feel like it's like a lot of peer pressure to do things that they may not want to do, like, for example, like drugs or alcohol, and I feel like that's a big issue among teens today. Thank you.
Jordan Lee Brackett is the 2018 graduate from Oceanside High School. She's the daughter of Mark and Shirley Brackett of Altair. Her activities included National Honor Society, National Technical Honor Society, student government, high school aspirations, soccer, softball, basketball, unified basketball, and Sherry School of Dance. Her hobbies are dancing, working out, sports, and traveling. Jordan is employed at Wynwood Gardens in Camden and the Samoset Resort in Rockport. Jordan's future plans are to attend the University of Maine, Augusta, majoring in nursing. Jordan's sponsors are mainly lobster and seafood of Owl's Head and Cafe Miranda of Rockland. Please welcome Jordan Lee Brackett.
Hi, Jordan. Hi. Could you please tell us what a lobster with no claws is called?
A lobster with no claws is called a pistol.
Thank you.
Hi. You shared with us that you have a passion for lighthouses. Can you recall the first lighthouse in the state of Maine?
I cannot.
Hello,
Hi.
how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. So, what do you plan on doing when you finish nursing school? You want to do a specialty?
After I finish nursing school, I am looking into nurse anesthetist, which will be a ways down the road after nursing, but it's one of my interests.
Can you tell me, excuse me, can you tell me what lobsters eat?
Lobsters eat clams, starfish, sea urchins, and crabs.
Hey, Jordan.
Hi.
Have you had fun this year?
Yeah.
What would you incorporate next year if you could add something to this program?
If I could add anything, I think it would be a great thing if the Sea Princesses could be involved with some more volunteer work with helping the community, like we could help paint the food pantry or some sort like that.
Thank you.
At Atwood Lobster, they had a shower system running. What was the purpose of this shower?
The purpose of the shower is to kind of chill the lobsters. So then they're put into 38-degree waters to keep them in a chill zone before they get shipped off.
Thank you. Can you name 3 lighthouses?
Yeah, 3 lighthouses. We have the Rockland Breakwater Light, Marshall Point Light, and Owl's Head Light.
What do you call the things they throw in the water at outwards, and also LL beans to help out with the water quality for the lobsters?
They have the bio barrels that are filled with biobeads, and they collect bad bacteria and help balance out the levels of ammonia.
Could you tell me what 3 words would best describe you and your personality?
3 words would be versatile, confident, and exciting.
Good job. Jordan, you took in high school aspiration classes. Can you tell me a little bit about that, please?
So the high school aspiration program is free college classes at the University of Maine at Rockland through Augusta, and they're free college classes that count towards my degree, so I take less classes each semester in college. So it's a money saver and a workload saver.
And how many have you accumulated so far?
I've taken 7 classes, which equals 23 credits.
Thank you.
Our next princess is Lauren Ethan Aspinall, and she is a 2018 graduate of Oceanside High School. She's the daughter of Scott and Carol Aspinall of Thomaston. Her activities included the yearbook, track and field, soccer, tennis, and theater. Her hobbies are running, baking, camping, going to the beach, hiking, spending time with family and friends. Lauren's future plans are to attend St. Joseph's College of Maine to study social work. Her sponsors are Penobscot Electric of Rockland, Rock Coast Plumbing and Heating of Thomaston, and Clark Island Builders of Spruce Hill. Please welcome Lauren Ethan Aspinall.
Hi, Lauren. NCY's last painting is on display at Farnsworth. Can you tell us what the name of the painting is and who named it?
It is called The Witch. I'm not sure how it's got its name.
Thank you.
You shared that you volunteered at the festival. What was the favorite part of that for you?
I think my favorite part was seeing all the different cultures and the different people that came together to come to the Lobster Festival and eat lobster. I thought it was really cool to see the different people that it brings together in our small community.
Hello,
Hello.
Lauren. Rockland's a Coast Guard city. Do you know what year it became a Coast Guard city?
Yes, Rockland became a Coast Guard city in 2008.
Since 1991, the festival has always given back to communities. Can you name 2 or 3 of the different things that they have done?
Yeah, so the Lobster Festival has given back. They have provided an ambulance for the Rockland town of Rockland. They have done many things for the food pantries and the after-school food programs. They have given scholarships away. They have done a lot of things for the Oceanside High School, such as giving flame-protected curtains for the theater.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
If you traveled back into time, where would you go?
I think I would go back to the Roaring 20s. Because that was the time that, I don't know, a lot of music started to become famous and the girls started having more freedom to kind of do what they want. I think that would be really cool to be in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How many days a week can lobstermen haul traps?
They are not permitted to haul traps between 4 p.m. on Saturday to half an hour before sunrise on Sunday from June 1st to August 21st.
What does the nautical terms port and starboard mean?
Starboard is right and port is left.
Okay, well, whether or not if you win, what has been the greatest learner's experience from this?
I think my greatest learning experience is, well, for one, I never knew there was a chocolate factory around here, so I think that was pretty cool to learn that they had a very good chocolate factory around here. I think it was really cool to just be around friends from high school and to meet some new people too. That's been really fun.
If you were given an unlimited amount of money to make the world a better place, where would you start?
I think I would give people shelter and enough food and water to survive, because I feel like that's definitely a big problem these days, and I think it's really important for everyone to have that. Thank you.
Molly Riscella Davis is a 2018 honor graduate of Oceanside High School. She's the daughter of Karen Emma Riscella and Stephen S. Davis of Rockland. Her activities included key talk, tennis, indoor track, cross-country, yearbook, newspaper, student government, liberal arts academy, and the National Honor Society. Her hobbies are playing tennis, volunteering, painting, skiing, and hanging out with friends. She's employed at the Farnsworth Art Museum. Molly's future plans are to attend Wheaton College in Massachusetts to pursue a degree in business management and art. Molly's sponsors are St. George Realty and George's Barbershop in St. George. Please welcome Molly Riscella Davis.
Hi, Molly. If you were an animal, what would you be and why?
I would be an elephant. I've always just admired their wisdom, and I hope to one day be as wise as elephants.
Thank you.
Hi, Molly.
Hi.
At the Coast Guard base, they made point of a particular table that was set up in the mess hall. What was the point of this table?
The point of that table was to kind of honor and remember the Coast Guard people who were either lost or had passed away, to kind of remember them in spirit.
Thank you.
Andrew Wyatt painted a famous painting called Christina's World. Where is that located now?
That is located at the Museum of Modern Art in New York.
Thank you.
Hello, Molly.
Hi.
Hey, we only saw a small part of the Farnsworth, and I understand you worked there.
Yes, I do.
Could you teach me something about Farnsworth that I didn't see?
Let's see. I could tell you that, in the Wyeth Center, which is the church in the back, there are currently 3 generations of Wyeths being exhibited over there, and also a few other of their relatives and close friends.
What three-masted schooner is on the back of the Maine State Quarter and home ported here in Rockland?
The Victory Chimes.
Who is Robert Indiana?
Robert Indiana made the famous, or he designed the famous love sculptures. He unfortunately passed away earlier this year, but he is known for the kind of idea and symbolism behind the love sculptures.
If you could change something about our local community, what would you change?
I mean, it's kind of specific, but I think I would change in the public school districts the kind of arts and education funding. I think that sometimes the arts are underrepresented in the public schools, and I think that they are very important and beneficial, and I think that could use a little more attention in the schools.
Thank you.
What is a buried lobster?
I'm not sure.
What was your favorite part about the Bixby Chocolate Factory?
I think my favorite part was hearing the owner, Kate, talk about how she came to own this business in Rockland, and how that there aren't many women-owned and run businesses around here. So I thought that was kind of inspiring to hear her journey to become the owner.
What do you think the most important quality is for a sea goddess to have?
I I think that one of the most important qualities from a sea goddess is kind of respect, I would say, and maybe compassion. I think that it's very important that a sea goddess can connect with the local community members and tourists, be able to communicate with them confidently and clearly, and also try to understand where they're coming from. I think that would be beneficial. Thank you.
Our next sea princess is Casey Jo Pine. She's a 2018 graduate of Oceanside High School. She's the daughter of Stephen and Kathy Pine of Owl's Head. Her activities included varsity soccer, varsity softball, fall musical, unified basketball, one acts, and National Honor Society. Her hobbies are volunteering at Oceanside sports camps, traveling with my family, traveling with her family, skiing, fishing, dirt biking, hiking, and shopping. Oh, she's got my heart. She is employed at Miller's Lobster Company. Casey's future plans are to attend the University of Maine to study business management. Casey's sponsor is Yacht Marine of Rockland. Please welcome Casey Jo Pine.
Hi, Casey. Hi. How does someone get a lobster license?
They can either be born into the industry, so if you have past relatives, it's a lot easier to get into the lobster fishing industry, or you have to go through lots of safety training and you have to apply for it, and you could be waiting forever because so many people want to do it around here.
Thank you.
Hey Casey.
Hi.
About how many total pounds of bait are bought and sold at Atwood's Lobster in a year?
Well, they need about 1 pound of bait for every pound of lobsters they bring in, so about 10 million.
Thank you.
If a visitor from another state asked you what is so special about the state of Maine, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that the state of Maine is very peaceful compared to any other state, I would say. Just the people are very relaxed and personable, and you can just go anywhere and just feel comfortable and at home.
Hey, Casey.
Hi.
Says you like to travel a lot. Tell me one of your favorite places you traveled to, what you did, experience.
Definitely my favorite place I've traveled to is Costa Rica because of the wildlife and the green jungles and the ocean. I've been to many tropical islands and places, and it's definitely one of the most beautiful waters I've seen. And yeah, I just like it because of the wildlife and all the monkeys and everything that is in it.
How many traps is a lobsterman allowed to set?
He's allowed to set 800.
Hey Casey, on the lighthouse tour, do you recall the tallest lighthouse and where?
Boone's Light in Portland.
Wow.
What? Around Portland.
What is the main role of the sea goddess at the Lobster Festival?
The main role of the sea goddess is to be an ambassador of the lobster fishing industry and to represent your community and all that hard work that's put into it.
Who supplies the lobsters for the festival?
The Beans Lobster supplies the majority of the lobsters for it.
In school, what was your favorite class and why?
My favorite class is definitely math because there's always a right or wrong answer. There's no coming to a conclusion by yourself, and it's definitely the easiest for you to learn.
Can you tell us a little bit about someone who had great influence on you in your life?
Somebody that had great influence on me was definitely my softball coach, Coach Worcester, just because of how outgoing he is and strong-willed, and how he's been put so many years of dedication into his team.
What accomplishments are you the most proud of and why?
The accomplishment that I'm most proud of definitely has to be my academic accomplishments that I've done in high school. being third in my class and finishing high school with a 4.0 GPA.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren Elizabeth Miller, a 2018 graduate of Camden Hills Regional High School. She's the daughter of David and Christine Miller of St. George. Her activities included varsity soccer, varsity basketball, varsity softball, yearbook committee, wellness team, National Technical Honor Society, and chorus. Her hobbies are basketball, soccer, softball, hiking, spending time with friends and family. Lauren is employed by Luke's Lobster. Lauren's future plans are to attend the University of Southern Maine to study nursing and also play basketball. Lauren's sponsors are J.D. Miller Construction of St. George and Viva Enterprises of Thomaston. Please welcome Lauren Elizabeth Miller.
Hi, Lauren. Of all the tours we went on, which was your favorite and why?
Well, unfortunately, I had to miss one day of tours, so I missed 3 of the tours, which I assume the Lighthouse tour would have been my favorite. But out of the other tours that I was able to go on, I would say that the Bixby Company tour was very interesting. 1, because free chocolate, and 2, it was very interesting because, like someone else had said before, I didn't know that there was a chocolate factory in Maine, let alone one of the only women-run chocolate factories. And I thought it was very interesting to hear her point of view on running it. Thank you.
The first festival started in Camden Rockport area. What year did it start in Rockland?
1951.
You said you liked the Bixby chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
You named 2 out of 3 countries where she gets her beans from.
Haiti. I can't remember the others, I'm sorry.
In your write-up, you said you're a member of the National Technical Honor Society. What is that? And how is it different from the regular honor society?
So, National Honor Society is for regular public high schools. The National Technical Honor Society is for vocational schools. So, like the Midcoast School of Technology, that's where I went. So, they have courses such as the CNA course, EMT courses, welding, machinery, and to become in the National Technical Honor Society, you have to be doing both well in regular high school as well as whatever trade that you are studying.
What is a deuce?
A deuce is a 2-pound lobster.
A number of young people are leaving the state to work and live elsewhere. What are some things do you think communities could do to encourage young folks to stay in the area?
That's a good question. Well, I would say I think that communities could provide more experiences for high school students, more jobs, more, like I was talking about MCST, more vocational schools, more opportunities for students to find a trade that they like and that they can feel that they can be successful in this community. Some jobs there are some jobs that don't have many places in Maine, so people want to leave and go to other states. But if there were more different vocational schools or trade schools that people could stay, I think that would help. Thank you.
What is a pistol?
A pistol is a lobster with no claws.
What do you enjoy doing away from school?
Outside of school, I enjoy spending time with my friends. I love my friends very much, and that makes me happy. I like hiking. I like playing sports. Even though I play sports in school, I like doing it on my own as well. I usually, because I'm so busy, I don't have a lot of time to do other things, but I like to spend time with my friends. I like to do crossword puzzles. I like to watch Netflix whenever I'm home before bed, truthfully. And I would say that's about it. I mean, I like doing a lot of things, but life is so busy I don't get a chance to do as many things as I'd like. Thank you.
Amelia Elizabeth Campbell is 2018 graduate of West Carcanet High School. She is the daughter of Andrea Little and Richard Campbell from Thomaston. Her activities included Key Club and beach volleyball. Her hobbies are painting, photography, and beach volleyball. Amelia is employed at Fiore in Rockland. Her future plans are to attend Johnson and Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island, and major in graphic design. Amelia sponsors a Dream Local Design and Night Marine Service, both of Rockland. Please welcome Amelia Elizabeth Campbell.
Hi.
Downtown Rockland has a cinema that was built in 1923 and then restored to, I guess, go back to being 1923. Do you know what the name of that is?
That would be the Strand Theater.
What is an escape vent in a trap?
That is the vent so the smaller lobsters can get out, so it protects the smaller ones to grow to protect the fishing industry.
Hi, Amelia.
Hi.
There's been a lot of discussion in Rockland lately about cruise ships. Do you think Rockland should limit the number of cruise boats that visit the harbor each year, and why?
I do not think that they should limit it because I think that the cruise ships bring in a lot of tourism and business to the smaller shops in the area, and it definitely brings in more tourism and different varieties of people from different places around the world.
Thank you.
Can you recall how many lighthouses are in Knox County?
There are 15 lighthouses in Knox County.
You bet a basketball player and your sister. No, just kidding.
Yes.
You went out of state for your senior year in high school. How did that go, and how do you think it affected you?
It went really well. I definitely got to expand on things that I didn't know before about different places, and especially about North Carolina. I think it affected me positively because it made me really appreciate the small community that we live in, and I got to spread the fishing industry and bring my friends lobster sometimes because they never got to eat it before, and they definitely love that.
How many volunteers does it take to set up and run the festival every year?
About 1,500 volunteers.
If you were to name your lobster boat, what would you name it and why?
I would name it Determination because I think I'm a very determined person and I like to follow through with everything that I do.
What lighthouse was featured in the movie Forrest Gump?
That would be the Marshall Point Lighthouse.
You mentioned the crate race as being one of your favorites. How many crates do they use?
They use 50 crates, so if you go back and forth one time, that's 100 crates.
What are 3 words that best describe you?
3 words that best describe me are confident, determined, and artistic.
How would a lobster know what buoy colors to use?
Each lobsterman gets their own buoy colors that they have to use so they can determine their buoys from another lobsterman so they don't accidentally take their traps.
How many pieces of art did the Farnsworth start with?
I believe they started with 100 pieces of art.
Thank you. Lobster boat races have become ever popular in the state. Can you name 3 locations where they hold lobster boat races?
They have lobster boat races in Spruce Head, Rockland, and I cannot name a 3rd place.
Thank you.
Taylor Hamlin is a 2018 graduate of Oceanside High School. She's the daughter of David and Cindy Hamlin of South Thomaston. Her activities include the Key Club, theater, STEM program, sports, National Honor Society, and civil rights. Her hobbies are working out, playing field hockey and lacrosse, spending time with friends and spending time at the beach, volunteering at the hospital and chasing sunsets. She is employed at the Country Keepers. Her future plans are to attend the University of Maine in Orono, then Fashion Design School, and open her own business with her own designs. Taylor's sponsors are Hamlin's of South Thomaston and Ray Insurance Company of Rockland. Please welcome Taylor Hamlin.
So we've heard your brother wants a new attire. And how are you going to help him with that?
Well, I kind of think the outfits right now are a little bit boring. And we're talking about the Navy right now. So I'm thinking maybe some stripes or maybe some like different patterns would work. But he's pretty handsome, so I think he needs a good outfit to go with him. Thank you.
At Bean's Lobster, they described a special box that they use for shipping. Can you tell us what the name of this box is and what they pack it with?
That is a leaker box, and they put lobsters in it. They're either 1 or 2 pound lobsters that they put in it, and they're like little hotels for them.
Thank you.
Can you tell me who the artist is that did the poster that each of you signed and describe what the poster looks like?
The artist is Megan Rogers, and there's 3 of the rarest lobsters, and she got her inspiration from Brooks Trapmill.
Thank you.
Well, Tim,
Hello.
we had a former Sea Goddess in our presence on the panel. What year was she the Sea Goddess?
I have no clue. I'm sorry.
It's Cookie.
I know it's Cookie. She looks very pretty in the picture, though.
Oh, that's. In high school, you were involved in the STEM program. Can you tell us what that was?
That's the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics program. It's for kids who don't really know what they want to do, but are interested in those type of fields. I chose to do the nursing route, so I did shadows at the pediatrics, and I did an internship, a 30-hour internship at the hospital over the summer. And yeah, it just got me with the flow of like the actual job and introduced me to new people and different kinds of jobs that I could use when I'm older.
Could you tell me who your biggest inspiration is and why?
I was hoping you'd give me this question. My biggest inspiration is not only one person, but they make one person. My parents, they are each other's halves. They are literally the perfect people for each other. And they're so important to me. But yeah, they teach me how to be hardworking and to be a really good person.
Thank you. At the Maine Lighthouse Museum tour, they talked a lot about Fresnel lenses. Can you tell me how many orders or sizes they come in?
They have 6 orders, and it goes from biggest, like 1 is the biggest, and then it goes to the smallest at 6.
Thank you.
If you were in charge of the coronation, what would you change or add, if anything?
I would add more time with judges and also, like Jordan said, some more volunteer time, just to get us more involved with our community, and maybe the judges could come with us and volunteer with us, because that would be a good way for us to bond as well. So definitely more of those 2 maybe combined. Thank you so much.
Amelia is employed at Fiore in Rockland. Her future plans are to attend Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island, and major in graphic design. Amelia sponsors a Dream Local Design and Night Marine Service, both of Rockland. Please welcome Amelia Elizabeth Campbell.
Downtown Rockland has a cinema that was built in 1923 and then restored to, I guess, go back to being 1923. Do you know what the name of that is?
That would be the Strand Theater.
What is an escape vent in a trap?
That is the vent so the smaller lobsters can get out, so it protects the smaller ones to grow to protect the fishing industry.
Hi, Amelia.
Hi.
There's been a lot of discussion in Rockland lately about cruise ships. Do you think Rockland should limit the number of cruise boats that visit the harbor each year, and why?
I do not think that they should limit it because I think that the cruise ships bring in a lot of tourism and business to the smaller shops in the area, and it definitely brings in more tourism and different varieties of people from different places around the world.
Thank you.
Can you recall how many lighthouses are in Knox County?
There are 15 lighthouses in Knox County.
You bet a basketball player in your sister? No, just kidding.
Yes.
You went out of state for your senior year in high school. How did that go, and how do you think it affected you?
It went really well. I definitely got to expand on things that I didn't know before about different places, and especially about North Carolina. I think it affected me positively because it made me really appreciate the small community that we live in, and I got to spread the fishing industry and bring my friends lobster sometimes because they never got to eat it before, and they definitely loved that.
How many volunteers does it take to set up and run the festival every year?
About 1,500 volunteers.
If you were to name your lobster boat, what would you name it and why?
I would name it Determination because I think I'm a very determined person and I like to follow through with everything that I do.
What lighthouse was featured in the movie Forrest Gump?
That would be the Marshall Point Lighthouse.
You mentioned the crate race as being one of your favorites. How many crates do they use?
They use 50 crates, so if you go back and forth one time, that's 100 crates.
What are 3 words that best describe you?
3 words that best describe me are confident, determined, and artistic.
How would a lobster know what buoy colors to use?
Each lobsterman gets their own buoy colors that they have to use so they can determine their buoys from another lobsterman so they don't accidentally take their traps.
How many pieces of art did the Farnsworth start with?
I believe they started with 100 pieces of art.
Thank you.
Lobster boat races have become ever popular in the state. Can you name 3 locations where they hold lobster boat races?
They have lobster boat races in Spruce Head, Rockland, and I cannot name a 3rd place.
Thank you.
Taylor Hamlin is a 2018 graduate of Oceanside High School. She's the daughter of David and Cindy Hamlin of South Thomaston. Her activities include the Key Club, theater, STEM program, sports, National Honor Society, and civil rights. Her hobbies are working out, playing field hockey and lacrosse, spending time with friends and spending time at the beach, volunteering at the hospital, and chasing sunsets. She is employed at the Country Keepers. Her future plans are to attend the University of Maine in Orono, then Fashion Design School, and open her own business with her own designs. Taylor's sponsors are Hamlin's of South Thomaston and Ray Insurance Company of Rockland. Please welcome Taylor Hamlin.
So we've heard your brother wants a new attire.
Yes.
And how are you going to help him with that?
Well, I kind of think the outfits right now are a little bit boring. And we're talking about the Navy right now. So I'm thinking maybe some stripes or maybe some like different patterns would work. But he's pretty handsome, so I think he needs a good outfit to go with him.
Thank you.
At Bean's Lobster, they described a special box that they use for shipping. Can you tell us what the name of this box is and what they pack it with?
That is a leaker box, and they put lobsters in it. They're either 1 or 2 pound lobsters that they put in it, and they're like little hotels for them.
Thank you.
Can you tell me who the artist is that did the poster that each of you signed and describe what the poster looks like?
The artist is Megan Rogers, and there's 3 of the rarest lobsters, and she got her inspiration from Brooks Trapmel.
Thank you.
Well, Tim,
Hello.
we had a former sea goddess in our presence on the panel. What year was she the sea goddess?
I have no clue. I'm sorry.
It's Cookie.
I know it's Cookie. She looks very pretty in the picture, though.
Oh, that's. In high school, you were involved in the STEM program. Can you tell us what that was?
That's the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics program. It's for kids who don't really know what they want to do, but are interested in those type of fields. I chose to do the nursing route, so I did shadows at the pediatrics, and I did an internship, a 30-hour internship at the hospital over the summer. And yeah, it just got me with the flow of like the actual job and introduced me to new people and different kinds of jobs that I could use when I'm older.
Could you tell me who your biggest inspiration is and why?
I was hoping you'd give me this question. My biggest inspiration is not only one person, but they make one person. My parents, they are each other's halves. They are literally the perfect people for each other. And they're so important to me. But yeah, they teach me how to be hardworking and to be a really good person.
Thank you. At the Maine Lighthouse Museum tour, they talked a lot about Fresnel lenses. Can you tell me how many orders or sizes they come in?
They have 6 orders, and it goes from biggest, like 1 is the biggest, and then it goes to the smallest at 6.
Thank you.
If you were in charge of the coronation, what would you change or add, if anything?
I would add more time with judges and also, like Jordan said, some more volunteer time, just to get us more involved with our community, and maybe the judges could come with us and volunteer with us, because that would be a good way for us to bond as well. So definitely more of those 2 maybe combined. Thank you so much.
Aubrey K. Anderson, a 2018 graduate of Robinson School. She's the daughter of Katie Crandall of St. George and Brad Anderson of Rockland. Her activities included National Honor Society, varsity lacrosse, track and field, basketball, indoor soccer, and math team. Her hobby is competitive ballroom dancing. She works at Luke's Seafood in Tennant's Harbor. Her future plans are to attend college at the University of Massachusetts at Boston, majoring in mathematics. Our great sponsor is Tennant's Harbor Fishermen's Co-op. Please welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Aubrey. Recently, the U.S. government has imposed tariffs on products coming into this country. There'll be other tariffs imposed on our products. How do you think that'll affect the Maine State lobster industry?
Actually, at Linda Beans, we discussed the tariffs and the shipping to China. And the tariffs are not affecting us right now because during the summer we catch a lot of shedders, which we can't ship to China anyways, because they'll get damaged and then they won't be any good to eat. So during the winter is really the time that the tariffs will take a toll on us. But during the summer, I don't think that the tariffs will actually affect us because during the summer we can sell that many more lobsters, so that in the winter, throughout the winter, the 10% that the China takes from Linda Beans will not make an impact.
What accomplishments in your young life are you most proud of and why?
I think I'm most proud of picking up everything and moving to Puerto Rico for 2 years. That changed my life, and it actually opened my eyes up to a different language, a different type of community. Everyone down there is very
community-based, and if someone needs help, they all pitch in, and it was a great experience for me.
Can you tell me how long the breakwater is?
The breakwater is 0.8 of a mile long.
NCY's last painting is on display at Farnsworth. Can you tell me what the name of that painting is and who named it?
It's The Witch, but I cannot tell you.
Thank you.
Does red tide affect a lobster and why?
Red tide does not affect a lobster because they are carnivorous.
Like you mentioned, you went to school the last 2 years in Puerto Rico. How did the hurricanes affect you in San Juan when you was down there?
The hurricane impacted the entire island, and like I talked about, the community-based the thought of the people there. They really came together and helped one another. We made donations in school. We helped with Central Met School, who doesn't have a lot already, and we brought school supplies in. And being the secretary of the NHS, I helped coordinate that with the president. And we also did like a pet drive. And so everyone came together. We tried to help out as much as we could, and it had a great impact. It was like life-changing, and it opened my eyes even more to see how something that happens overnight can damage for months.
If you were approached by a family visiting our area, what would be 3 sites that you would tell them not to miss?
I would definitely say don't miss the Farnsworth. There's 15,000 pieces of artwork in the museum that they can see. Also Marshall Point Lighthouse, Owl's Head Lighthouse, Rockland Breakwater, and I would also say you take a schooner ride around the harbor because it's definitely different than going to see a lighthouse and just looking at the water. They also explain on the schooner rides like the different islands that they have, and I would go out lobstering with a lobsterman because it's a different experience and not a lot of people have that experience. Going lobstering with my brother is not something that people get to do every day, so I would definitely say try and get out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say that over the past 10 years, it has truly been my blessing to be involved with all these young ladies. I hope I've helped in some small way, but they've helped me more, much, much more. And we have a wonderful group of girls this year. I love supporting them. I know they're going to have a wonderful future ahead. They're all very hardworking and conscientious. And that's the end of the evening. I hope you all come down on Wednesday evening and see our girls on stage. And thank you very, very